Hi and welcome. So this video was meant to be part of the short and sweet series, but got a little bit carried away. So this class is dedicated to hip mobility as well as a little bit of glute strength to support. Because obviously the glutes are like one of the main movers of the hips. And the aim of this class is to help you increase not only the strength of your hips and your glutes, but also your ability to move and move well and move freely. And it's also a lot of fun, so enjoy. All right, so we're starting standing today, finding our feet just kind of underneath our shoulders, spreading the toes into the floor, and getting a sense of the tripod of support. So we're thinking about the big toe, the little toe, and the heels. We'll use our feet as a reference point for the plumb line of the body and for the sensation of our body moving in space. So a lot of our strength from the legs and a lot of the messages for the hips as well come from what's received from the ground, from our feet. If you haven't already, start a little kind of roll around the feet. So just trying to, again, get them a little bit more sensitized, a little bit more awake. One of my teachers says, if your feet aren't listening, so if they're not switched on, they're definitely not going to be talking to you. And if they're not talking to you, if they're not talking to the rest of the body, really difficult to get the rest of the legs, the hips, the spine actually responding appropriately to the forces on the body. All right, give it one more rock, a little roll, and then we'll widen the feet slightly, and literally just moving the hips around in a circle. You can snake the circle back, you can change directions, you can do a little bit of a figure of eight, I really don't mind, but just getting a sense of where your range is in the hips in this particular motion. And it looks very cool as well, obviously. And then we'll come back into the center. Don't mind what you do with your hands. We're going to lower down into a little squat and press up. So we're starting with slightly bigger movements, standing movements, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. So as we shift down, we're really aware of what's happening with our sit bones. We're pressing in the heels to power up. Rather than a thrust forwards, I just want you to get a sense of gathering the sit bones in. Using your breath. We've got about another 3 of these. That's it. And 2. Last 1. Standing tall, turning the feet parallel. Let's slide the weight across onto our left leg. Draw the right knee up. Maybe, in fact, let's all grab onto the front of the leg to start off with, pulling the leg in. So we've got this passive range, the front of the hip. We let go, we hold it here. Now, hands probably out to the side. Soften your supporting knee. I want you to keep lifting the knee. Take it out to the side. Don't mind what you do with the toes. Bring the leg back behind us. This isn't particularly prescriptive. We're trying to find the kind of full range of our thighs in the hip socket. In the hip socket. Yeah. Whilst also challenging the balance of the bottom leg. Maybe change direction. I would advise here that you keep your heel squeezing in towards your bum. And what that means is that the hamstring will also be switched on as we roll around. Let's make this the last one. Lovely. Pause here just for a moment. Little kind of soft bend in the supporting knee. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. Place that right toe down. Bend really, really deeply into your left leg and shift your bum back. You can even take the toe of your right leg off. The idea is that I'm so far back in the heel that my glutes are activating as well as my quads really strongly. Let me take a little bounce here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw the knee into the center of the chest. Stand it back behind you. Toes touch down. Lunges. So slowly lowering that back knee towards the floor. 3, 2, 1. Powering into the front knee. So this is just part of our warm up. 3, 2, 1. And press. I think we've got 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And press. As you press, dig down into that front heel. 2 more. 3, 2, 1. And we dig so that the glute is switching on. Last one. 3, 2, 1. And push. Lean forwards over your front leg. This is a little bit for ankle balance and balance in general. Shift forwards. Take your right leg off the floor. Keep the weight in your heel of the front leg. So really, really heel dominant balance here. We've got about another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We stand tall, and we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So shifting your weight into your right leg, lifting your left leg upwards, drawing the right knee, left knee, sorry, into the center of the chest, pulling it in really, really strongly. So here, as I pull in, instead of kind of leaning back into it, I'm thinking down through the heel, glutes switching on really, really strongly, finding that range at the front of the hip. So this is called flexion. I'm going to let go of the knee. Hopefully it'll stay there. Yeah, hopefully it stays, so it stays at that same height that you just had. And then arms out to the side so they don't get in the way. We rotate it out to the side, and notice that your hip is going to want to shift, which is actually okay. And then I'm going to have to lift my hip as I bring the knee back behind me. Just got a little clunk there. And again, this isn't super prescriptive. Knee comes down and it comes back in. So we're doing about 3 times in each direction. I'll turn to the side just so that you can sort of see what's going on. I'm lifting my hip a little bit to allow that leg to come back. I'm trying to find that heel to butt connection. My glute doesn't want to switch on, but my hamstring definitely does. One more time. So nice and slowly, soft bend through the supporting knee, and then we change directions. Dun, dun, dun. Whoop. Dun, 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 dun. Is that helping you? I don't know. We're going to change direction, so we're reversing. Keep that heel squeezing in. Send the knee down. Kick the foot up. Externally rotate it. Lifting the knee all the way up, and you will notice that balance is easier on one side than the other. We've got 2 more. And we're seeing if we can actually keep a sense of buoyancy in the spine as well. And last one. Little soft bend through your supporting knee. Bringing the other knee all the way up. Hugging it in. One more moment, and then we place the toe down onto the floor. So this is left foot forwards, we're standing on the right leg. We shift the weight back, and as soon as I start shifting into the heel, if I'm doing it really truly, I immediately start to get a sense of that right glute switching on. And you can have the leg lifted slightly as well if you like, and we hold here just for a little bit longer. 3, 2, and 1. Standing up, send the leg back behind you, drop the toe into the floor. I'm trying not to stand on my notepad. And we've got 5 lunges here. Press down and forwards into your front foot first. Lower your knee towards the floor for 3, 2, 1. And we press. And again. 3, 2, 1. And press. Again. 3, 2, 1. And this sense of pushing the ground away. We've got 2 more. 3, 2, 1. Push. Last one. 3. So imagine your body's lifting up as you're going down, and push. Last one, so body lifts up, skull lifts up, pelvis drops down, 2, 1, and push. Shift the weight forwards into that right leg. Lift your left leg off the floor for a little hover balance. Try and keep shifting your tailbone, your sit bones back over the heel, lifting the toes off. We've got another 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing tall. All right. No fuss, no fancy. We're going to get straight down to the floor. So remembering that action that we just had while standing on the legs, the circles of the leg and the hip, we're going to do that now. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, neutral spine, so the belly is lightly lifting upwards, and we're pressing the hands down. We're going to start by sending the left leg out behind us, really, really long line through the legs, still lifting through the belly. This is nice and slow. Bend your leg at the knee, find your hamstring kick position. Check that you haven't leant out to your right hand side. Squeeze it in as much as possible. We come into the center of the chest, hip flexion, without moving the back. Should have said that before. So back is staying still now. So draw that knee as close in as you can without changing the back. Then we lift it to the side, and we're trying not to change the back here. So this is our external rotated position. We're still squeezing the heel in. Then we lift the knee up and round like we're taking it towards the diagonal. This is kind of 1, 2, third point. And then we bring it back into that hamstring kick position. You've got 2 more in that direction. So knee comes in. Pull it in as strongly as you can. Really, really strongly. Externally rotate it. Keep the foot active. That's it, guys. Bring it across to the diagonal. And you're trying to keep your back fairly still. And then bring your knee into that hamstring kick position. Pause here just for a second. Feel that your inner thigh is rotating towards the sky, so it's internally rotated. 1 more in this direction. Knee comes into the center of the chest. Notice if you're collapsing your shoulders. Oops, I just round my back. I'm not meant to round your back here. That's a different exercise. And then lift the leg towards the side. So you should feel hopefully the top of that glute starting to kick on. Diagonal. And then you bring it back into the hamstring kick position with the internal rotation of the thigh. Alright, we now have to do it again, but in the opposite direction. So we start going towards the diagonal. We find external rotation. We bring it into the heart center. Flexion without moving the back. And again, back behind. You can tuck or untuck your toes, that's it. Out to the side. External rotation. Bring it into the center. You can take breaks whenever you want, remember. I will not shout at you, I promise. And then out to the side, so this is our third one. We bring it into the center. And I noticed that I was just kind of moving my back there. And we'll actually bring the leg out to the side now. So I'll show you, I'll move around to the front so you can see what's going on. So I'm not mirroring you at this point. We've got the left leg out. We're going to shift our hips across to the right hand side. Hands out to the side as well. Flex your foot. You're going to see if we can actually lift that leg off 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, isn't it fun? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there, point the toe. Can we make small circles of the thigh and the hip? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for an extra few seconds. Bring it into the center. Sit back. Shake off your wrists. Do a little kind of hip wiggle. You can even do a dance. Tap, 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 tap. All right. We're still on the same leg, unfortunately. We've got one more thing to do on this side. So we were just using a bent leg position. This time we're going to use a straight leg position. So kicking the leg out, lift the leg up, and I like to place my hands on my hips sometimes to really feel what's going on. We're going to externally rotate that left leg, kick it as slow as you like towards your left shoulder. Big, big kick. Bring it behind us. Then start to turn the knee towards the floor. Your hips will square off back to the floor. And then keeping your hips still, squeeze the left leg across the right diagonal. Pause there. The hips stay still here. But what we're doing is internally rotating that left leg. Belly's drawing up and lifting away. And then we're going to do that again. We come back through the center, through the midline. Externally rotate. Kick the leg towards your left shoulder. Start to kick it back. A little change here when you get to the diagonal. Turn your foot down. So your leg is out to your left diagonal. And we've got internal rotation of that thigh. I'm starting to lean across quite strongly to my right hand side. So I'm going to pull back into my left hand. You've got 10 little lifts here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to the center. Pop your left toe down onto the floor. We're going to sit down onto our right hip. And again, guys, I'm not mirroring you this time. So take a little rock and notice, some people can get their knee flat to the floor here. I can't, and that's fine. Everyone's got different hips, different range. But notice what your range is. And then we'll sit on the sit bones. And from your hip, I want you to pull your knee into the center and then bring it out to the side and let your back hip rock. So we plant the left sit bone into the floor, plant it down, bring your right knee into the center, and then we bring it out. In fact, this time, keep your body to the left-hand side, send your knee away from you for as long as possible, and then we rotate. Let's do that one more time. Send your left sit bone down, start to pull your knee from your hip. So you're pulling it down, pressing down through that foot. We're going to turn slightly. So notice I'm getting bigger in the movement each time. Right hip bone lifts. And then keeping your body towards the left-hand side, maybe even expand your arms out. We pull that knee towards the floor. And then we're going to return. Left foot crosses over your right. Step your right leg back. We're in a little lunge position. Pull your left hip back here. Stretch your left fingertips towards the ceiling. Squeeze your inner hips together. Really, really, really strong. And we come up into a reverse lunge, squeezing the inner thighs together. This is just a little hold here to add in a little bit of rotation. Let's see if we can get the rib cage to really slide across towards that left hip. Drop a little bit down into your back hip and press up. Yay! 4 more of these. This is kind of slow, steady work. And push. And 3. And push, that's it. And 2. And push. Last one. And push. Rotate back round to the center. I'm going to change position just so that you can see. From the central point, we find ourselves in Warrior 2. We get down nice and low into the legs. We're not going to be here long, but we do want to get that sense of the grounding stability from our points of references, which is our feet. We're going into Skandasana now. I'm going to offer 2 options. Feel free to come with me or watch first. Option 1, we bend into our right leg. And again, I'm not mirroring. We send the hips back, we send them down, and then we come up to standing. You can also come back into that Warrior 2, so you can swap between Skandasana and Warrior 2, and I'm pivoting from my heels so that my knees stay tracking my toes. If you want a slightly more hip challenging one, your Skandasana, you turn out your right leg, you drop towards the floor. You can use your hands if you like, but you don't have to. And then maybe you push back into that Warrior 2. This is really quite challenging. The hips, so if you don't feel ready for it yet, then play in the kind of slightly softer waters of the first one. We're going to do 5 of these, so pick whichever one you want. 5 and 4, yay, and 3, that's it, and 2, and 1. Hold Warrior 2. We're holding this for about 10 seconds, so not too long. 10, 9, maybe take a little pulse. 8, 7, pushing that knee out. 6, 5, 4, lifting the toes. 3, 2, 1, stand tall. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we are starting in that all fours position. We know the drill now, so we start in hip flexion. Squeezing your right knee into the center of the chest. Spine stays still. Then externally rotating. Make sure you are squeezing the heel in. So we find external rotation. We kind of lift across to the diagonal. And then from the diagonal reach, we turn the leg into hamstring kick position. Often here, your right hip will be kind of behind you. See if you can square it to the floor. Let's do 2 more, sorry. Knee comes into the center of the chest. We push it out to the side. We round it through that diagonal. And we find the hamstring kick. Whoops. Lucky I can look in the video and be like, that hip's not in the right place, as well as feeling it. Sometimes it's good to record yourself so that you know whether what you think you're doing is what you're actually doing. So that was, I think, the last one. Now we reverse. So we go out to the diagonal, out to external rotation, into the center without bending the back. We're still trying to get as much flexion at the front of the hip as possible. Let's do another 2. And if I've miscounted, please feel free to redo a bit. And then drawing it in. And then pushing out. Dun dun dun. Lovely. Making sure that you're kind of moving through the entire circumference of your hip joint. And then this is your last one. Pause here for a moment. Pause here. And then we bring it back down and in, and we're going to spin so that our right leg is out to the side this time. So we're going to lean our hips across to the left hand side just slightly. Makes it a little bit easier. Flex the foot. We lift 10 times. We go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You point the toe, you take 10 circles, trying to reach the leg as far out the hip socket as possible. I think we're on number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Yay! Bring it out. Give it a little shift. Can't tell if this is hard because I've already done a workout today, or because it's just hard. You can let me know. Alright, so we're going into the leg sweeps, long legs this time. So we've got a longer lever, which means that we kind of need to employ a little bit more stability, a little bit more strength. Alright, so pushing that heel out, like out of the body, trying to create as much space as possible. We lift the leg up. That's it, and we find that line. I'm trying to think ease in the body, so visualize this being easy. Externally rotate the leg, like whatever you need to visualize to bring yourself a little ease in this motion, and then bring it behind you. I imagine that I'm a superhero, and I'm like, yes, totally easy. So it's not, but it helps. Bring yourself back into that neutral parallel, and then start to bring the leg across to the left diagonal, and you're trying to actually squeeze your inner thighs together here. You're dropping your right hip just a little bit to get the internal rotation. We lift it back up. We come back out into external rotation, kicking all the way to the side, which is fun, isn't it? And then we bring it back to the right diagonal, turn the toe down. So now our hips face the floor, our right knee faces the floor. We've got 10 pulses here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Draw that right knee into the center of the chest. We're going to step back, finding ourselves in a little lunge. Pull your right hip bone back really, really strongly. Lift your right arm towards the ceiling. And then from the strength of our legs, we come up into that twisting lunge. This is static just for this moment. What happens if you push even more strongly back out through that back leg? If you get the rib cage to wrap around, I'm actually not too concerned about what the hips are doing, but what I would like you to do is maintain an awareness of where they are in space. And we lower towards the floor and press for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. We come into warrior 2, and I'm going to spin around so that you can see me, or not just see my back. So nice and grounded here. Keep saying nice, but it is nice, you know? Feeling the floor underneath, pushing the feet down, spreading the toes, getting that sense of the rooting of the pelvis, the lifting of the spine. It's beautiful. Marvelous, guys. So holding this for a little bit longer. I'd suggest pushing that front knee out slightly, maybe taking the toes off. And then we move into our Skandasana. So I'll demonstrate again. You have a slightly lighter variation, which can just stay into, and I'm not mirroring, left leg. You have the variation where you dip down, you turn back into your warrior 2, you turn into the Skandasana. Yeah. And you might find that your feet start to walk away with you, which is fine. Or you might go into the external rotation of the left leg, you dip down. So I hope you're all doing it right now. But from here I'm going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, minding your knee, last one. Pushing into your warrior 2, we hold here for about 10 seconds. Shift your groins back for a moment and just notice what that changes. Push them forwards, notice what that changes. For me, it's quite uncomfortable. I like to work with the groins back, but see what works for you. We've got about another, it was meant to be 10 seconds, so I reckon we've got about 6 seconds left now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring the hands forwards and we're going to do the nice rotatory bit thing. So we're going to actually sit down on the floor. Send your right leg out to the side. And notice how maybe this is slightly different. You might find in this, for me, I've got a little bit more range in my left hip. So take a little sit from side to side, bringing in awareness into your sit bones. And then from the thigh, we bring that knee up and in. So it's really like I'm pushing into that foot. And then I send it out to the side and it's from the hip. So I'm kind of leaning away from it. And then maybe I rotate slightly, right hip bone lifting. Right hip bone, right sit bone comes down. I bring that left knee in. I maybe kind of reach across the right hand side this time. Left sit bone's lifted and then I pull away. So really kind of pulling and keeping this foot flexed, it's important. Bringing the hip down to the floor. Again, a little lift, let's make this the last one. And then, yeah. So you're doing it and you're imagining that you're moving through treacle, something really sticky. You reach your arms out to the right hand side and then this becomes your counterpoint as your left knee moves away from you and then we'll reach across to the side. Alright, this is a perfect moment actually to go into our 90-90 hip work. So, I'd like you to bring your right leg forwards and your left leg back. So again, I'm not mirroring you, very sorry. But it'll be better if I'm not mirroring you for this instance. I'd like you to press down really firmly. So imagine that you have something under your knee that you're trying to squash. So maybe it's a windy day, you've got like a piece of beautiful poetry under your right knee that someone you love wrote for you and you're trying to keep it there. The wind's really strong. So we're really strongly pressing down through this front knee. Back knee. You can have the heel in slightly if your range isn't here. If you need to reduce the range, same with the front knee, then you can do that. Back knee, we're going to flex really, really strongly. Let's just move to the side. Ha, lovely. Now, if you need to have your hands on the floor, you can, but we're going to try and push down as strongly as we can into our left ankle. So start doing it now. So it's like you're trying to push your heel through the floor. You're trying to, I was going to say something rude. Never mind. You're trying to really dig that heel into the floor. We're not moving anywhere, but we're feeling this switching on. So you're pushing down into the floor. We've got another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep pushing. 4, 3. It almost will make that knee want to lift off. 2 and 1. Relax for a moment. And then we come back in again. Push. So I'm going pa, 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 pa. Kicking the ankle bone into the floor, really pushing that front knee into the floor. So you're moving into the active range of mobility. The floor is stopping you from moving. We've got another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now it gets a little bit more exciting. We're going to start lifting that back knee and lowering. You've got 10 of these. 9, 8, 7, 6. You can sit up or you can lean forwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. We hold it up there just for joy and fun. Another 5 seconds. 4, 3, keep pushing down in this front leg. 2 and 1. Lower the knee down, and now this time we lift the back heel and lower. 10, 9, 8, 7. So you're really rotating the thigh. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn towards your leg. If you can, grab hold of your foot. If you can't grab hold of your foot, just keep it there and you're going to be holding. If you can grab hold of your foot, I want you to see if you can find more range. So this is my passive range. I can't lift here by myself. Push your foot into your hand. You get a little bit of strength going on. So activating. 3, 2, 1, then let go and see if you can hold it there. And we lower the foot down towards the floor for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Catch it, lift it. Just 3 of these. So we're holding it. And if you want to make it harder, you can sit back into your belly a little bit. All right, we're holding. You got another 3, 2, 1, let go. Try and keep it at that height, try and keep it there. And then lower down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, we pull it back up. And if you haven't got your foot, then you're just going to be trying to hold it basically for the entire time. Apologies. All right, so we hold it. We actually push the foot into the hand for a moment, and then opposite direction, you try and keep it lifted. We let go, hold it there, slowly lower. We'll try and keep it up, but it'll lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, sit back as much as you can. It may not be much, so I'm going to show you from this angle. I'm sitting back, so it's my front knee is going to try and lift. That's okay, but I'm going to try and keep it pushing down. And to show you from the side, now in this backward position, try and lift your ankle off. Should be hard. And again. And again. Because now you're sitting back. There's really no room for the hip. 2, sorry, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, move through the center. Have a little rock from side to side. Really nice. It's like a little bit intense, but not, hopefully not too intense. It really depends, of course, on your hips. So you're going to bring the left leg forwards, right leg back. So ideally, I mean, in the ideal world, this is meant to be a 90-degree angle, this is a 90-degree angle, but you know, you got to work with your hips really. So, and most people don't have that. Anyway, we press down into the front leg. You know the drill now. Press down, stop that piece of poetry going. Press down into your back heel really, really strongly. And we just hold. So I say hold, we're pushing it. If the floor wasn't there, you'd be moving through space. This foot would go this way, the other foot would go in. So we've got, and we hold here for another 10, 9, 8, 7. So your best possible effort safely. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And you might see that I dropped a little bit there. Let's do it 2 more times. And press, 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 like you're making hips of juice, cold press, hips of coffee, cold press. You've got another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. All right. One more time. Apologies to Spanish speaking people. Press down really strongly, and again, I'm going to show you from this direction. Yeah, so this ankle is freaking like pushing down. So is this front one. Really, really strongly. You got another, I think we're on 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Beautiful. I say relax. Either keeping the body upright or leaning forward, so you lift that back knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We hold for 5. Keep pressing down in this front knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the knee down. Flip the heel up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Now, grab hold of your foot if you can grab it. Kind of bring it into that passive range that you couldn't get otherwise. Press your hand into your foot and your foot into your hand. And then we let go. Oops, you can see my leg dropped. We're trying to keep it there for as long as possible. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We grab it, hold again. We refine this position. I say as long as possible, it's 8 seconds. Let go, hold it there. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One last time, we pick it up, we really find that position. So internal rotation here, sitting up if you can. Find the strength, let go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We let it go, and then we sit back. So it's kind of like a slump. You can use your hands forwards to help you. We're going to try and pick this back heel off. Let's go. 10, 9. If you're sitting really far back, you won't even be able to get it off. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, last thing here. We bring our feet into the floor. Tuck the tailbone. Rolling off your sit bones. Roll towards the floor, nice and slowly. Tucking, 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 tucking. Get to the floor. Dig your heels into the ground. Lift your hips up and down. Weight into the heels. Toes lifted. There's a sense that our hips are traveling higher than our rib cage and then our shoulders. And we have the sense of sending the knees forwards. You got another 5 and 4 and 3. Little tuck of the tail. 2. Last 1. Keep it lifted. Draw your left knee into the center of the chest. We pause here. Point the toe. You're going to thread your left knee underneath your right leg. Left hip drops. We come back to the center. And we do that again 5 times. 4. And 3. And 2. Last 1. We lift up, we bring the foot to the floor, take an inhale here, reground, maybe placing the toes into the floor, so same thing on the other side with your right leg this time. So I'm lifting back onto the heel of my left foot, I draw the right knee into the center of the chest, I pause there for a second, then I thread the right toe through underneath the left thigh, bring it back up to the center, knee in. You got 4 of these, and 3, and 2, last 1, place the foot down, take an inhale, and exhale, roll this pelvis to the floor, draw your knees into the center of the chest, maybe stretch your feet up towards the ceiling, take a little shake out of your legs, and you're all done. Thank you for joining me on the mat as always, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.